Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome back to the GM. It is your guy Boulanger, and up next on the GM, Week 5 in the NFL biggest matchups. Do me a quick favor, hit like. If it is your first time checking out the GM, hit subscribe. Also, hit the notification bell so that you get updates when we upload new content. Let's talk about it. So, week number 5 is upon us, and as I scoured through the week 5 matchups, not really excited about a lot of matchups just yet. Part of the reason why I'm not really excited about a lot of matchups is because a lot of these matchups are between contender versus a non-playoff team, a bunch of 2-2 games, that kind of thing. And that doesn't mean those games aren't important because Week 5 games, of course, is a part of the collective of all the games, which will, determine playoff seed and things of that nature. I'm just not excited about the matchups. But two games in particular that I am excited about starts with the San Francisco 49ers versus the Dallas Cowboys. Let's start with Dallas. Dallas rolls into this game with a 3-1 record, right behind the Philadelphia Eagles for the NFC East race. Okay, Dallas Cowboys come in with a uh, solid offense, both in the run game and the passing game. They have a lot of playmakers: C.D. Lamb, Dak Prescott, Brandon Cooks, and then Tony Pollard, is powering that run game. And they have a really nice defense, a defense that gets after the quarterback, a defense that stops the run, and a defense that has been pretty decent against the pass. They've actually played real dominant this year. And so when you flip over to the San Francisco 49ers, they also come in with a really solid offense. They have a lot of playmakers on that offense. None other than Christian McCaffrey leads the way, along with Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and a young guy who's super talented at the quarterback position, and Brock Purdy. When you jump to the San Francisco 49ers defense, this is a dominant group as well, a team unit that can play downhill, get after the passer, led by Bosa. A team that's improving in the secondary and a team that has some rock solid linebackers. So this is going to be strength against strength. I certainly believe that the San Francisco 49ers have the advantage in this game just simply because they probably have the more dominant offense because of one player in particular, and that's Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey may be the best running back in the game right now, but he's also probably the best slot receiver in the game. I remember when this guy was in Carolina and he was a Pro Bowler as a slot receiver and as a running back. It doesn't get any better than that. And he brings that same kind of skill set since he's been in San Francisco and has been, fairly healthy and fairly dominant. He's leading the league in rushing this year, and I think he is also making a push for an MVP candidacy. Having 4 touchdowns last week, I expect Christian McCaffrey to come out this week and have a solid game. Not a dominant game, I don't believe. I believe he'll have a solid game, and I believe they'll use him in some ways this week, meaning San Francisco, to kind of offset what the Dallas Cowboys do well, which is get after the passer. I think they're going to have to commit extra defenders to keep an eye on Christian McCaffrey, try to check him in coverage and things like that, which could leave things open for Debo Samuel, Ayuk, George Kittles, and the likes. So, does Dallas have a chance to win this game? I certainly do believe so. I think if Dallas defense can get off of the pass and force the San Francisco 49ers into some mistakes, into some early three and outs, and Dallas can get some early scores, I think they have the potential to lead this game, forcing San Francisco to play from behind this week. I certainly believe Dallas can do that. Will they? I don't know, because Dallas sometimes do Dallas kind of stuff. I'm predicting that the San Francisco 49ers win this game, and I believe they'll win this game something like 27. No, that's too high. 24 to 21. Maybe Brock Purdy makes a pass to Christian McCaffrey. He eludes a defender, gets into field goal range, and they win this game, steal the victory with a Robbie Gold field goal. That's my prediction. 24-21. San Francisco wins this game at home. All right. Now let's jump to the game that, as a Ravens fan, we're all are excited about this week. That's the Baltimore Ravens versus the division rival Pittsburgh Steelers. This is a game where both teams are still trying to develop themselves offensively, but I think they mostly know who they are defensively. The Baltimore Ravens come into this game with a middle of the pack offense somewhere between 12 and 16. I can't remember. I didn't check this week, but that's where they were last week. And they didn't do anything offensively last week to move the needle necessarily, although they got the win. I think that the Baltimore Ravens do have an advantage simply because of health this week. So let's talk a little bit about offense versus defense. So the Baltimore Ravens offense, right now, I think is led by the run. And that run game right now is powered by Gus Edwards and followed up by Lamar Jackson. Now, Pittsburgh knows Lamar Jackson very well. They faced him 2 times a year since 2019. And I know they saw him in 2018. So they know his tendencies. They know what he brings to the table as a ball carrier. And I believe they keep an eye on Lamar Jackson with a spy for the most of the game. So I don't know if Lamar Jackson's ability to run the ball this week is going to be at its optimal. So I think that the Baltimore Ravens are going to have to make timely passes. They're going to have to be disciplined on offense against this Pittsburgh Steelers defense. We know that TJ Watt has wrecked games all year. Now, they didn't even register a sack last week, that being the Pittsburgh defense, but I don't expect that to carry over into this week. Especially with the Baltimore Ravens, again, still playing with some replacement parts. Looks like for the Baltimore Ravens offense that Morgan Moses may not play this week. I know he didn't practice on Wednesday. Also looks like Ronnie Stanley could be ready to go, but if he's not 100%, I say don't play him. Um, I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers have an advantage in the trenches just because of their defensive front against the offensive line. But I think once we get past the trenches, if we can hold up some, I think that the Baltimore Ravens have the potential to make some plays in the intermediate and in some aspects throwing the deep ball. But I know they have a ball hawk and Nika Fitzpatrick who's always around the ball. And then they have a really nice rookie in Joey Porter Jr. who has played very well this season, although the Pittsburgh Steelers defensive stats don't tell that same story. So let's jump to the Pittsburgh offense versus the Baltimore defense. Well, the Pittsburgh offense is struggling, to say the least. They've won a couple of games this year, um, basically on their defense. The first game of the season, I think, was Pittsburgh versus Cleveland. They came out, took the ball away from Cleveland, first play of the game, scored a touchdown. And I think they also had another script sack fumble returned for a touchdown in that Cleveland game. I believe I'm correct. If not, I know they had another strip sack fumble, and they won that game on defensive performance. There was another game where T.J. Watt recovered the ball after the quarterback fumbled, and they turned that into a score as well. So they did win 2 games with some dominant defensive play. Okay, but when it comes to their offense, it hasn't really taken shape yet. Meaning Pittsburgh. They haven't been great in the run, nor have they been great in the past. And some of that's because of injury. You know, Deontay Johnson's out for a while. Kenny Pickett got hurt last week, and he's expected to play. Well, Kenny Pickett says he's going to play, so we have to expect him to play this week. And I don't know if they get on track against us this week. I don't know if they're going to become dominant in the run game this week. I don't know if they're going to become electric in the pass game this week, especially since the Baltimore Ravens roll into Pittsburgh this week with the number 1 pass offense and the number 7 overall run defense. If the Baltimore Ravens come to play and do what they're supposed to do, the key word is what they're supposed to do, we can snuff out this Pittsburgh's offense. So let me give you my prediction, and I'm going to continue to talk about it a little bit more. I predict that the Baltimore Ravens win this game. I think it stays close early. For whatever the reason, I don't think this offense plays downhill the entire game. I think that it's unfortunately close, and I think we put this game away going into the fourth quarter with a final score of I'm gonna go 24-17. And when I say 24-17, that doesn't mean it was 17-17 and Baltimore scored. That means we go get 24 points and then they score late on whether a field goal or a touchdown to make it closer. but I do think the Baltimore Ravens win this game. And when you look at this game, both teams come in with some injuries at major positions. The Pittsburgh Steelers have injuries along the offensive line. The Baltimore Ravens have injuries along the offensive line. The you know the Pittsburgh Steelers have injuries in their wide receiving and tight end room. We have injuries in our wide receiving room. And so I think the injuries will offset one another. So I think this game is going to come down to who is executing the best. You know, the Pittsburgh offense again hasn't found themselves, but George Pickens is known for making a big play against the Ravens. We've seen him make a couple of big time plays this year, 70 yards and 60-yard plays from Kenny Pickett. And I think that we have to come and be disciplined. That is the Baltimore Ravens, and just play like we know we can play. There is no reason why Pittsburgh should get on track this week against us if we come and play the defense we're supposed to play. That's why my prediction is my prediction. Okay. And so the only way Pittsburgh wins this game is if we come out and we're dropping a ball on the ground, we're turning the ball over, we are uh, 3rd and 5, and we jump off sides. Now it's 3rd and 10. Again, what I called in the second week dumb stuff. If we don't do dumb stuff, we should win this game, okay, with some certainty. So that's the biggest matchups of this week. Stay tuned for Keys to Victory coming out on Friday, where we talk about how the Baltimore Ravens uh, can do some things in this game to ensure that they get a victory in week number 5 and take a commanding 3-0 lead in the AFC North Division. I'm your guy Boulanger. This is the GM, and we're out. Okay, I'm gonna do this.